Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at the Swagman Chinook 2-bike platform rack here on our 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan. So this is a platform rack that is going to be great for if you have an 1.25" hitch, kind of like what we have here on our Tiguan, because even though it has a smaller shank, you still get a lot of weight capacity, more than your regular or traditional platform bike racks, which is awesome. So we'll take a look at some of the features of this bike rack just to see if it's the right fit for you and if the features are what you are looking for. So first, we're going to take a look at the tilt away feature. To do so, you just lift up on this lever and then drop this down to a tilt just like that. And you'll want to tilt it away if you want to access your hatch. So as you can see here on our vehicle, look at how much clearance we have between the door and our handles. A lot of it. So that means we can get into our trunk, maybe grab our waters, our bags, our helmets, all without having to take our bike off. So it's nice, quick. That took like what, 10 seconds to tilt that away, as well as to bring it back up, meaning that you get to go out onto the road and out onto the trails that much faster. So this has a 45-pound weight capacity, which is higher than most of your weight capacities on your regular bike racks. So usually they have a 35-pound weight capacity. So if you happen to have a heavier bike than this one, this might be the best or a better fit for you. The way that our bike is held or mounted to this bike rack is we have 2 wheel straps, so 1 and then 2. And then we also have this frame mount. And the way Swagman does their frame mounts is it's mainly a stabilizing force as well as a locking force. So you do have a slight rubber padding on here, but you probably shouldn't be tightening it down all the way, just enough to keep it in the upright position, since those wheel straps are what are really holding that bike down. You also have these lock cores on these wheel frame hooks. So if you have it locked, you can't press that button and it's not gonna pop up. But when it is unlocked, you can press it and it goes up easily. So let's talk about how you can take your bike off. First, you start at the wheel strap. So you press this lever, pull up on the strap, and I do like how Swagman has it where the strap automatically flips over to the side. That way I am for sure that it won't get caught up in my spokes. Then let's go over here to the rear wheel and do the same thing. Press that lever, lift up on the straps, and just let it fall away. Then you come over here to your bike. Make sure to hold your bike during this next step, because with those wheel straps disengaged, if you take this off, this may tilt back towards your Tiguan, and you don't want that. So what you can do, one option, is you just bring these up just enough where you can tilt this away and then bring it over or to the side. Or you can take these off completely and lower this mast, especially if you have heavier bikes. That might be the best option for you. But since my bike isn't as heavy, I'm just gonna tilt it away and then bring it through. You may need to bring it straight through before you can take it off the bike rack, just like that. So I'm gonna set our bike to the side. That will give us a little extra room to take a closer look right over here at the bike rack itself. First, let's take a look at our cradles. So these are 3-inch wide, meaning they can accommodate tire widths of up to 3 inches. Cradles. So they are made of steel, so they are really strong, durable, and sturdy. They can also be adjusted right over here with this knob. Once you loosen that knob, you can push them back and forth. That's going to help you out get the best fit, as well as accommodate different wheelbases. You have this strap. This strap goes around your wheel, and then it secures it just like that. Notice how we have a cushion on the inside. This is kind of a harder cushion. That's going to add a little bit of stability and grip on your wheel, as well as cushion it during transport. Now, my pro tip from me to you is please put away your straps. Even if your bike is not on there, it's still helpful to have them strapped into the cradles. That will help them last a little bit longer, because then they're not flopping around in the wind or as you're driving around. These ratchets also ratchet down to secure your bike's frame. Let's not bring it all the way down. There we go, just like that. Now, when you do have a bike rack on your vehicle, there's gonna be some length added to the back of it. So we'll take some measurements. Measuring from our bumper to the end of the bike rack, which is by this cradle, it sits at 24 inches long. So that's a pretty good length for a 2-bike platform rack. Since your vehicle is already kind of on the longer side, especially compared to your compact SUVs or your sedans, if you have a small garage, that might be a length worth considering. Or also, whenever you back into small spaces, please don't forget that you have bikes as well as a bike rack on your vehicle. We'll also take a measurement for ground clearance. So the furthest point of the bike, which is kind of by bike rack, which is kind of by the shank to the ground, right over here is 16.5 inches. Where your bikes are gonna sit, which is this cradle, you have a clearance of 18.75 inches. Now compare those measurements to this one right over here by the shank, where it's 9.75 inches only. So ground clearance is especially important on the Tiguan, since the hitch kind of sits low to the ground. 9.75 inches isn't an amazing ground clearance, but it is kind of standard for your lower vehicles. So whenever you go up steep inclines, like your driveways or your hills, your front's going to come up, your back is going to go down. So you will want accessories like these, which have a shank rise, because then your bikes are sitting higher up off the ground. Okay, we'll take a look at another feature, which is you can stow this away into a portable position. To do so, you pull this lever right over here. It actually says pull, so that's going to help you out. And then bring this down. Then after that, you're going to pull this lever over here, pull that, and then bring this up against your car. Now, Swagman has a style when it comes to their bike racks. They like to make it compact. That's going to be nice when you do have a smaller garage. But for some other vehicles, it comes a little too close to the vehicle. It's really nice to see here that we have plenty of space between our cradles and our bumper. So that's nice to see, especially right over here. We'll take some measurements though, just to see how much space. So measuring from the closest point, which is going to be this kind of mast to the bumper, it sits at 1.75 inches. So that sounds like a little, but notice how I can fit my hand and my arm in there. Also, this is a very compact or sturdy bike rack, so it's not getting any closer than that. Length added to the back of our vehicle is going to be from that bumper to this point, and that's 12 inches. So big difference compared to when it was folded down. You definitely want it in this position when you're not planning on going for a bike ride, but you also don't want to take your bike rack off, or if you need a little bit more space. With it folded up, also notice how our rear window is obviously visible, as are our tail lights and our license plate and our backup camera. So this really covers up nothing. You basically won't see the bike rack behind you as you drive around, especially with it folded up like this. Okay, let's talk about how this fits into our hitch. So this has an 1.25 inch shank. If you do happen to have a 2-inch hitch here on your Tiguan, that's fine too, because it gets an adapter to do or to fit into there. This has an anti-rattle bolt and a lock. So that lock right over there is key to the locks that you're gonna find on your hooks. That way you only need one key to access both your bikes and your bike rack. So that anti-rattle bolt, now that tightens down to secure the bike rack, and I recommend doing what I do, which is I use a socket wrench with a 3/4 inch socket. You can find that here at eTrailer. It makes it so much easier to tighten that down and secure it in your hitch receiver. But anyways, with that anti-rattle bolt, I'll do a quick shake test. As I shake our bike rack to simulate that road stress and vibration, notice how I'm mainly just moving the car at this point, showing how secure that fit is between the shank and the hitch receiver, making for a smoother ride for your bikes overall. Okay, so my final thoughts about this bike rack is that it's a really strong and sturdy bike rack. If you have a class 1 or class 2 hitch on your vehicle, this might be one of the better options for it, especially since it gives you a higher weight capacity. I do like how you get to tilt it away. I like how you get to fold it up. Those are kind of the premium features you would expect for ease of use when it comes to a bike rack. Now, if you want a little bit more weight capacity, the Swagman Current has a 60-pound weight capacity. And if you want a little bit more ease of use and something that possibly looks better, you might want to consider either the Kuat Sherpa with an 1.25 inch shank or the Kuet Transfer, which are great bike racks as well. But all in all, this worked really well and it looks pretty good in my opinion. But this was a look at the Swagman Chinook 2-bike platform rack here on our 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. And finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.